Hello, everybody. Good evening, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We always appreciate everybody's presence and energy and curiosity, so thank you very much. I'm Heather O'Neill. I am a certified life coach. I work with energy healing. I work full-time in a PR job, and I'm a single mom and I love to dance. So that's a little bit about me. And we're just going to share a little bit with you tonight, some information about stuff that's changed our lives. And, however it lands for you is absolutely fine. We just ask that you listen with an open mind and, perhaps if what you hear tonight isn't for you, maybe somebody you know could be helped by some of the solutions that we are just sharing with you, because this is stuff that we're very passionate about, all in the space of healing and health and wellness. So that's basically why we're here, and just a little bit about why I'm here and why I'm sharing all of this with you. We like to share a little bit about our stories with folks too. This is, why we ended up where we are and why we're talking about all of this and why we're passionate about this. I had a health scare when I was in my mid-20s, and it was something that really changed the trajectory of my life, because it was not only a wake-up call for me, but the two biggest things that I took away from that happening to me was prevention. What can I do to keep my body healthy and not have to get sick and have some type of illness, tell me that something's wrong and I need to make some changes. And also just that everything I was putting into my body was affecting my health. And I have just been an avid learner since then about everything, mind, body, and spirit, about what can I do to keep my body in the space of being able to heal itself. Because what I have learned unequivocally is that the body was created to heal itself. Just like when we get a cut, we get a scab, it heals itself. When we break our bones heal. Our bodies were created to heal. And I have learned after all these years of researching and understanding what's going on in my body and how my body systems need to work in order for my body to behave in the way it was created to heal, is that we've been we come up under thinking that illness or things going wrong just show up, and then we can have some type of symptom treatment and then go on our way without ever addressing what's really happening in the body, what the root cause is of what's going on. And so while this is not an either or conversation, it is about how we can keep our body systems working the way they're supposed to, so that we stay healthy, so that our body can create its own health. And what we're really talking about tonight is the concept of activation and activating our bodies so that our body systems are doing what they're supposed to do. And, unfortunately, we live in kind of a toxic soup these days, from everything from the air we breathe to the food quality, to food that's just preservative, chemical laden, to stress, to soil quality. Just, we are under so much strain and stress. And so, we are very passionate about teaching people what we have done that has changed our lives, that have changed the way we feel, that have changed the way we are keeping our bodies healthy and healing. And the reason that I am here speaking about this particular company, LifeVantage, and these particular health products, these activation products, are because I know Jessie, who I'm going to turn this over to in just a minute, from a business networking group for our service-based businesses. And I knew at the time that Jessie was a consultant for this company, and I knew this all had to do with cellular health. And I was at a point where I was starting to kind of lean into this whole concept of like, oh, if we keep our cells healthy, our body will be healthy. So I was very intrigued by it all, but I didn't really know much beyond that. And I asked Jessie to please recommend some products from her company that I wanted to try. And she recommended a product called the Tri-Synergizer, which is our flagship product, NRF2, and two other products. Jessie will go over some of this with you. And I started taking these products, and I was blown away, because I remember when I just started feeling better, but at the time I was very low energy. I was having issues with mental acuity. I was working in healthcare at the time, and would literally be sitting in meetings and having trouble finding my words, and it was embarrassing, and it didn't feel good. And I had people saying to me, well, that's just what happens, as we age. And I just didn't want to accept that, because I've been on this journey for all these years learning about things that we can do, nutritionally, everything that, can keep our bodies healthy. So it was a distressing time, but yet I just started feeling better. And it blew me away, because I was hopeful that I could feel better, but you get kind of discouraged sometimes. And at any rate, what I have learned since about what this stuff is doing in my body has blown me away. And what I understand now about activating wellness in my body, and the gift of feeling the way I do and feeling better. I'm 54, and I feel better now than I did in my 40s, and that's the God's honest truth. And when I learned kind of, the science behind it and what was really going on, I realized how absolutely important it is that people understand and know about this stuff. Again, what you do with it is entirely up to you, but I just, in my heart of hearts, believe everybody should know about activating the body in this way. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn this over to Jessie, who is one of my very, 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 very favorite people on this planet, who I have the pleasure and privilege to work with on this journey of sharing activation with people. And Jessie is just, I'll let her tell you her credentials, but she knows her stuff. And when she explains what these products do in the body, it's just in such a beautiful, understandable way. And I always love listening to you, Jess, sharing. So thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for our connection over all of these years. And it always makes me giggle when you share the part of like the light bulb going on about connecting, oh, healthy cells means a healthy body, because what are we? But I mean, like, yes, there's a lot to us as humans, but we're made up of cells, and it just makes sense that if our cells are healthy, then we are healthy. And it always makes me giggle when that light bulb goes off. Because that's how I've always seen it. And to me, that's just kind of the obvious part. But I'm so grateful that you had that experience and feel compelled to share, because you're right. I agree. This whole concept of accepting that aging should equal deterioration just drives me bonkers. And there are so many forces against us deteriorating our health. We do have to work harder, I believe, today than several generations ago. And thank goodness we do have this approach. So yes, to share some of my credentials, I do have my master's in health. I've been in the health and fitness space professionally for over 20 years as a personal trainer and yoga teacher and nutrition coach. And I've been working with this activation company for 10 years now. And I continue to be impressed. I'll tell you, I would not be here 10 years later if there was not a fabulous story to tell. So we are evolving here with LifeVantage, and it's one of the things that gives me so much hope in being a part of this movement, is that I believe the direction of wellness is changing, and we're grateful for acute medical care when we need it. But that's a different story than actually creating health and longevity in your body for the long haul. So just proper disclosures, both Heather and I are consultants for this company. We are a publicly traded company. I can show you where to fact check any of the info that we share. You heard Heather say the word activation several times. You're going to hear me say it several times as well. And it is because we do believe we are creating a category in wellness that didn't exist yet before. So I'm going to share a little bit more about what I mean by that. So, I think we all kind of understand the world of medication. And most people think, well, if you're not going down the world of medication, the other avenue for health is supplementation. And until activation, that kind of was true. Supplementation has its place. It will help, fill in gaps. So for example, I was pretty darn anemic for a long time. I filled in that gap by taking an iron supplement. It helped when I needed it. Thankfully, I was able to shift some things around and don't need it anymore. But it's passive support, and sometimes the body does need that. Oftentimes, so what is happening is that these systems in our body that worked well when we were younger or had endured less of this toxic burden, like Heather was describing, these systems in our body that actually create health get compromised. And through this approach of activation, by using, in our case, low dose nutritional synergies, so we're activating with natural approach, not a synthetic approach, we can actually signal the cells to do their job to function optimally, like hopefully they did before. And we can prove this. That's one of the things that I love about what LifeVantage is doing, is that it's bridging natural wellness with the level of science and scrutiny and studying and proof that traditional Western medicine requires. And that is our story. When I click over to the next slide, it's going to start to play a video. I'm not going to, for time's sake, play the whole video, but if you have not seen, it's a 20-year-old clip on YouTube, or probably some other video platforms out there, of ABC Primetime Investigative Report with John Quinones. And this is where our story started. This is when the light bulb went off for the scientists and researchers who were developing our flagship product, Protandim, which I will share more details about, that something different than supplementation was going on here.
Following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pause it here and just so John there is approaching Dr. Joe McCord. He was the formulator of our flagship product, Protandim. And he goes on, and he actually entered that building and brought his crew because his intention was to debunk a claim that the company had made, that it's on the bottom of the screen here. Protandim NRF2 reduces oxidative stress in everyone by an average of 40% in 30 days. And if you are a health nerd or a medical professional, you may know the significance of that claim, that reduction in oxidative stress. We end up feeling it as inflammation or free radical damage. That's a huge claim. The pharmaceutical industry had not been able to produce a product that could produce that result. And here, this little nutraceutical was claiming to do so. Well, it turned out he ended up validating that claim and interviewing the scientists and seeing how critical and how important that was, because what we did know at that time, 20 years ago, was how powerful antioxidants were in fighting oxidative stress. What we didn't know was how to actually win that fight. And this product, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, proved to do exactly that. And not because of supplementing with antioxidants. This was at a time where we were seeing antioxidant enriched, cereals, everything else, but actually turning on the body's own factory to make its own antioxidant enzymes. So that was the difference maker. So instead of consuming antioxidants, you are making your own antioxidants. So if you like the health terms, they're glutathione, superoxide dismutase, catalase. And it turns out like Heather was saying, instead of just looking at symptom relief, when you activate a system, it can actually affect many different body systems because oxidative stress is not selective to only, affect your eyes or your heart or your brain or your blood vessels. It affects everything, and it just depends on where those weaknesses are in your body. So this discovery of going upstream and handling it at the root was really radical. It was really wild, and it caught the attention of many world-renowned, highly recognized medical institutions, research facilities, universities, the American Heart Association, the National Institute on Aging, which is a subsidiary of the NIH. I mean, this is a big deal because they saw that root cause issue, and if it could make that 40% or more difference, how significant that must be. So that research does all exist on pubmed.gov. That's the NIH Library of Medicine. You can go look it up if you like that kind of validation. I did. And I'm gonna pause there on the Protandim, and I really hate cutting the Protandim conversation short. And there's so much more incredible information to share about that product. So please, if that does interest you, if that does spark curiosity, if you do want to know more, and if there was one thing I wish everybody on this planet would be taking, it is this little blue bottle here, this Protandim. That's the one that made me say yes to not only being committed to taking that product for myself for those proactive and preventative reasons, but to be a part of this message because people need this in their bodies. But to share with you a little bit bigger of a picture in a short amount of time here, just know we did not stop there. This is the Tri-Synergizer that Heather was talking about. So the Protandim NRF2 has two sister products. One helps you create more and stronger mitochondria. Just like we knew that oxidative stress or free radical damage or inflammation was like the big bad wolf under degenerative issues, we now know mitochondrial dysfunction is kind of like the second big bad wolf. So to create an activator for that. And then NAD, it's kind of one of the hot topics in the longevity space now. There's so much great things to be said about NAD. I consider it your longevity molecule. It's like the CEO of your genome to keep everything in check. It's responsible for cleaning out the gunk in your cells. It's like intermittent fasting in a bottle. We did create a collagen activation product, and those other Protandim products, there was nothing like them on the market. Collagen, obviously, like you can go to the gas station, you go to Costco and get collagen, but there was no natural activator until this True Science liquid collagen. And then when you put this together, pairing it, we started seeing synergies when you started combining our products, giving you results that you wouldn't expect from either one of them together. And like, for example, this one, significantly reducing cellular stress. There's a study here, it's on the product page if you want to go see it. But to actually turn down your body's stress response at that cellular level, think about the impact of that over time. It's just, this is why we get so passionate. So, collagen, I like the form and function benefits, but we do get a glow up here. If you're not in our Facebook group, ask for an invite. We have albums there for you to dive into. But we've created a skincare line. We have a smart vitamin system that works with your circadian rhythm. Axio is one of my favorites. Turning on your brain function, how your neurons fire. This is all that like healing from the inside out. And because we do continue to evolve, we do continue to innovate. A few years ago, we did ask the question, what else can we activate? Because we're always looking to flip industries on their head and offer safe, natural, healthy solutions. So just like Protandim NRF2 can help you make antioxidants, and just like that True Science liquid collagen can help you make your own collagen, our mind-body GLP-1 system can help you make your own GLP-1. So I'm embarrassed to say that before I went into a deep dive a year ago, knowing that we were launching this product a year ago this month, actually, that I thought GLP-1 was a medication. I thought it was synthetically produced, and it turns out it's not. It's a hormone your body produces all by itself until it doesn't, and we can activate it. We can turn it back on. And I love that because, there are reasons why your body goes into the craving cycles it does. And, we do live in that highly toxic burdened world, and it messes with our signaling. It messes with that gut brain axis. It puts our hormones out of balance. And so just like with the activation approach and all of our other products, when you can just get that firing again correctly, create an environment where the molecules your body produces can do their job, you have benefit on top of benefit on top of benefit. So we actually did a second study after this slide was produced. We actually see an up to 200% increase of GLP-1 through this mind body product. This is sustainable weight loss. It's healthy. It's enough to be satisfied with. People are not only not losing muscle, which is huge, and I know one of the big concerns in the synthetic world, but body composition is actually improving because you have proper nutrient uptake, you have proper metabolic function, you are actually getting the nutrients where they need to go. And often they're not getting into the muscles until these things work correctly. Targeted reduction of visceral fat, that's the sticky fat around your organs that compromises their function over time. And we are very proud of our innovation and apply for medical grade patents. Some of our products are already patented. Some of our product combinations are patented. This one is patent pending. We expect it to be approved. It's so beautiful when you see what it feels like. When Heather said, it felt better. Like that word recall came back. Those things that affect your everyday life, the things that start to improve when you activate from the inside out. I'm just going to blast through, these are all folks that we know. Again, we have albums on albums in our Facebook group if you want to see more. But these are folks, these folks in particular were already activated. They had healthy lifestyles. They made good choices. And it just that one system wasn't functioning right. You get it functioning right, and you can see the results. I do want to, before I wrap here, just mention, I could do an entire slideshow on any one of our product categories and be just as passionate. And when I really realized that level of passion, that's when I put two and two together and said, not only am I going to be a happy customer of this, but I want to help get it into other people's worlds, into other people's bodies. And I had to become a student of the industry. I've never done work like this. I was a personal trainer and a yoga teacher. I knew how to do that. What I found here was a company culture like nothing I have seen before. So just to tell you a little bit about who is behind this, because I think it matters to be an educated consumer. And I think it definitely matters if you're thinking you might want to be a part of sharing this message. We call our community Activation Nation because we have the energy. We are thriving. We are publicly traded, so it's fully transparent. I love that. We have a very highly invested board of directors who has our back. We have a C-suite that has our back. We have this category creation message to share that people are seeking. People are seeking the kind of solution we are providing, and they don't know what's out there. The visionary leadership we have, that's our CEO, Steve Fife. Just a month ago, he announced that we're acquiring a really amazing company. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that in a slide or two here. He knows how to take this message that we really had to blaze a trail and make it a household name, and it's working. These highly recognized publications are doing articles about it. We've rung the closing bell on NASDAQ. We are debt-free, so our legacy projects, that's our charitable organization, we are always able to give back and leave communities better than we found them. So this is the news we get to share. The ink is dry now. The Love Biome family is now part of LifeVantage, and we will be bringing on their incredible microbiome product line. It fits so beautifully with our activation message. It's able to kind of fit into that systems approach. So I say that to say, we're at an exciting time of growth. We're at an exciting time of expansion. We're at an exciting time, like I said, where people are seeking the kinds of things. And if sparks are going off for you, sparks of curiosity, this is how I'm going to bring it home here. And then if anybody has any questions, we can take just a couple of minutes for some questions. Not everybody has the same goal. Some folks want to share just enough to get their product paid for. Some folks want to share to kind of supplement their income, cover a few bills, and some people want to share to lead a movement. That's where both Heather and I sit, because this is a really big mission. And I'll tell you honestly, when this came across, I can't say my desk because I didn't have one, but when it came across my yoga mat, I was a single mom at the time. I was, I never had a 9-to-5 job, so I didn't have a retirement plan. If I canceled classes to go on vacation or my sick kids, I didn't get paid. And this was a concept where I understood that leveraged side of things, something that I knew would be helpful, a helpful piece of the pie in my professional world, but I didn't know how somebody like me could create that. And turns out there's real money to be had here. This is our income disclosure statement. This is a public document that comes from everything we do report to the NASDAQ. But if you look at that average monthly commissions paid as rank, and you can see what we are paying out, I am very fortunate to have worked this to get about halfway through these ranks. I've got some big goals for this year and this next growth wave. And that's what's so great, is that we can take anybody who says, like, this is where I want to be. And we have a system to help you do that. We have shared leadership. We have shared resources. So whether you are interested in just adding some more to your own health repertoire, or you are looking to start to share this yourself, there may be an avenue for you here with that. So with that, Heather, I'm going to ask if you have any closing remarks, and then we can stop the recording and take some questions if anybody has them.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. Thank you for sharing all of that great info. And, I guess I'll just close with saying that, like, I would share all about all of this stuff, regardless, because I think it's that important, and because I understand what it does in the body, and because I have heard story upon story upon story about people's lives who are changed by what we have here. And that's not just products, but that is also the financial opportunity side. And while I would still share all of this for free, it's pretty amazing that you can help other people and share things you're passionate about and get paid for it. And Jessie used the word leveraged. And I just think if you are unfamiliar with what leveraged income is, please speak to the person that invited you here, because when there is an understanding of what leveraged income can do for your life, it's absolutely amazing. And Jess, you said if you don't work, you wouldn't get paid. And like, it's, I if I don't work, I get paid because I have paid time off, but that's limited. I have to ask somebody for that. I cannot do whatever I please, and there's a cap to all of that. And there's not here. The sky's kind of the limit, and so it's just a really beautiful thing all the way around. So I just wanted to close with that, and thank you everybody for bringing your curiosity to us tonight. We appreciate you, and again, if any of this doesn't align with you and you know someone that it does, we always are happy to share any of this information with anybody that we can help. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.